These two scenes we're going to be breaking down today are from my latest short film, Dead and or Alive. It is a gun fu action comedy that I shot for a little bit under $200. Most of that going toward food and crafty. Taco Bell, if I am remembering correctly. The key to a modern day John Wick style gun fu scene is the way it's staged. Usually on the wider side and longer so you can take in more of the action. If you see a gunshot in frame, you'll see a bullet or blood impact in the next, as opposed to the old school Hong Kong style of gun fu. It's more frantic, cuts are more frequent, and it's edited in sort of a time dilation style. Moments like a gunshot that would last a fraction of a second in real time can be repeated from multiple angles / perspectives, and or most famously, slow motion. In a sense, the Wick style is much more like a dance, as there is a longer set of beats that the actors have to hit before there's a cut, rather than a set of individual moments per each camera setup. Of course, there's exceptions to this, and the Wick style could not have existed without the Wu style. And I am in no way saying that the older style is worse. In fact, my two favorite directors are constantly switching between two different guys named John. But my goal for this short was to try to combine the old school with the new school. For this first sequence, I wanted a feeling of a domino effect-esque action, patent pending. It's not just our main character here shooting three guys. Most of the kills are actually a consequence of other moves. First, our protagonist, Cardamom, dodges a shot from our first goon, which causes them to misfire into the second goon. The reaction from this, as goon 2 falls over, causes him to misfire back into goon 1, leaving them vulnerable for a finishing move from Cardamom. That's what I kind of mean by a domino effect. Each moment directly leads into the next moment. Kind of like a Rube Goldberg machine, but with guns. Also, for those who are curious, this finishing move here was inspired by, aside from John Wick, these gun takedowns from Call of Duty Cold War. Jesus Christ, some of these are f***ing brutal. More FPS games need moves like this. Now let's watch the rest of the scene. So good. Shout out to my buddy Max Gilmore, who not only played Cardamom and helped me a lot with the choreo, he also did the VFX for this shot. It was all his idea for this goon to be completely obliterated. I still don't know how he did this without a clean plate. This is one of those moments I knew I wanted in the film before I even finished the script. I needed Cardamom to get a shotgun, so of course he's gonna take it from someone, and of course that someone he takes it from is gonna get shot with the shotgun. So this moment also continues the sort of domino effect action-reaction thing we've got going on. First, Cardamom grapples the shotgun, sending the weight to one side of the frame. The goon tries to wrestle it back, causing the weight to shift back to the other side, also turning the shot into a profile. This movement justifies Cardamom's ability to cock the shotgun, as it now lands in an upright position, and of course, to finish it off, the shotgun is fired, rest in pieces Quinn, literally, and Cardamom gets the shotgun. The weight shifting back and forth and the transition of a shot into a profile is, I think, what sells this shot the most. I actually did a bit of speed ramping and frame dropping in the shot, mostly at the head of each moment to make them stick a bit harder. And then speed ramp the two grapple moments to make everything flow a bit better. Kind of like how in a lot of kind of how in a lot of fighting games and fight scenes in anime, they kind of have like that brief hit stop effect. Same principle applies here.
Why can't we just take him out? There's two of us and one of him.
In the second scene, I wanted it to be more of a punchline to a joke rather than a visceral moment, hence why it's much faster and a bit ridiculous, which is definitely more of an homage to the Hong Kong Jackie Chan style of comedy action, a bit more over the top and using more of the environment, or in this case, the other goon's weapons. Again, it's much more than just the guy shooting. It's a guy shooting someone because he took a gun out of another guy's holster, which he was able to do because that guy was hit by another guy, etc. The domino effect. This 1, 2, 3 he does here was also inspired by Cold War, and I think I pulled the press check sound effect from Cyberpunk. It doesn't even make sense that he does a press check. You're only supposed to do that after reloads. I just thought it looked cool. So that was my basic thought process on how we choreograph these scenes, but how about to someone go shooting something like this? Before we go on, I want to say that I am in no way a stunt work professional. I've never been paid to do stunt work. I just make low budget action movies, blah, blah, blah. I'm not responsible for your well-being. Please be safe. But I guarantee you there's one thing that every stunt professional would agree with me on. Do lots and lots of rehearsal and previs, which goes along with rehearsal. Rehearsing action stuff can always feel a little bit goofy at the beginning because I can see all my ideas, which are in my head, but nobody else can see that. There's no real way to start besides just acting it out. It can almost feel like you're playing with action figures or something because at the beginning you're just posing. We did many rehearsal takes of this scene. Most were before the camera ever started rolling, just because of how dynamic it was. What we found effective was to break down each moment into counts.
Break it down for me.
For example, Max entering would be
action. 1
would be the first block,
2
would be gunshot 1,
3
is shot 2, and finally 4, 5, 6 is stab, stab, stab. After running with the counts for a few takes, the actors usually have it down by then, so you can try running it without counts, as that can usually lead to more realistic feeling results. But it's very important, especially for more dynamic scenes, that your actors know exactly what is happening before you try going without counts and or going at full speed. We also padded up the cast whenever we could, laid mats down, etc. I found that mattress toppers, the memory foam stuff, can be really good for budget and compact crash pads. And you can always lay more stuff on top of that, like pillows, blankets, anything to help cushion the fall, especially for less experienced stunt actors. For padding, we just got elbow and knee pads for like skating or biking. You can find them for pretty cheap at used sporting goods stores. And I had the goons dress in ways where we could hide pads under baggy pants, jackets, etc. Sometimes we were fine to just let them be seen depending on how fast or dark the shot was. Again, that's why it's crucial to have rehearsal time. You can work out all these kinks without the stresses of a normal shooting day. Post-rehearsals, using the footage my DP Brock Cooper got, I put together a quick previs. This is not only invaluable to the cast on set to remind them of their moves, but also to the crew. If they know what's in the frame, they can stage things such as lights, boom lines, slate, etc. before we ever start even rolling. 10 minutes in pre-production will save an hour on set. It also gave us more time to experiment. In the rehearsal, you can see that we're a bit too straight on with Max in the door, and we missed the first fall that Goon 1 does here, and we don't really get too good of a look of Goon 2 getting stabbed. So on the day, we decided to start much wider, started dialing the camera back sooner, and had the two goons come in a bit closer. Also, you may have noticed that Goon 2 looks a bit different. That's because I believe Chris here had to leave earlier on the day of the shoot, so we had Davis step in, which was made much easier by the previs. Davis was able to come in with already an idea of how the shot was gonna look.
Action. Nice, yeah. Cut.
Originally, the first goon here didn't have a weapon. We just had them get stabbed. But it was much funnier and made a bit more sense that they had a weapon. So we gave them this foam crowbar that my art department friend Leilani made. To smooth that motion over, instead of having Max do this grapple stab motion, on the day we had Goon 2 swing a wider arc, Max dodges, and they do a final stab at the same time the crowbar impact happens. That helps sell the fact that they both get stunned long enough for Max to yoink a pistol from Goon 1 to finish Goon 2 off. You can also definitely tell that the 3 shots that Max did here looked a bit awkward, so we changed it so he starts the first shot a bit lower, and as the shots go on, his gun climbs up higher. It also looked more natural going from the holster to this first lower shot. It's a bit of like a spaghetti western quick draw moment. And to get this dodge down, since Max couldn't see Goon 2, I yelled out their name to cue everyone. This also acted as a cue for Goon 1 Tanner to start their swing with the crowbar. And since there wasn't a need to call counts as the moves were more simple from the dodge moment, I just called bang, 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 cue the 3 shots, and that was the scene. There's so much more I could talk about. Editing tricks, lighting, more in depth with the cinematography stuff. And this was just 2 scenes. But I feel the script is getting a bit long, and I just wanted this video to focus on the choreo stuff. This was kind of a new style of video for me, like breaking down my own stuff. If it does good, I definitely will do more. I could do a whole video just on the editing breakdowns of these action scenes. I have the OSV action scene I could talk about. I have a couple more shorts coming this year and like in the later months that I'd love to talk about once they actually come out. Maybe I could break down some of my super old short films, do like a compare and contrast kind of thing. What other notes I got? Support my Patreon. Thank you to Brock Cooper and Michelle Cantrell, my $5 patrons. Their names probably scrolled past already at this point. You can get early access to videos like these, some bonus content. I think I'm gonna put the rest of the previs footage that we shot for this on my Patreon if you wanna check that out. Also, check out the final film. It's completely free. It'll be the first link in the description. It'll be the pinned comment most likely. If you watch this video up to this point, I assume you would also like to watch the full film. It's also on Letterboxd if you wanna give it a rating. I don't know if I'll link that. Go explore it. You'll find it yourself. Please let me know if you enjoyed this kind of video where I sit down and talk. It feels a bit odd talking about my own work in like an analytical way, but a lot of people have asked me in person and online about how I do action stuff like this and kind of how my approach to it is. So yeah, here's this video. I'll send them this now, and hopefully they enjoyed it enough to want me to make more. I did not script this outro, if that hasn't been obvious enough, but ironically, I did actually script that last line that I just said. Please watch the OA. Thank you. I know it's the worst acronym so far for any of my projects.